everyone. Welcome to The Lost Resort with me, TOKiMONSTA. Lost Resort is a weekly show streaming at you live every Thursday here on Twitch. Today, my guests are Shlohmo and Groundislava. Shlohmo and Groundislava are two Los Angeles-born music producers and founders of We Did It Records. The music collective is comprised of artists such as Deej, Arl Grime, and Deb Never, and they're just up to so many more amazing things, and I'm excited to talk to them about it. So, yeah.
Yo.
What up?
What it do?
Man, it's been so long since it's like pre-COVID.
It truly has.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw the both of you was at a house party, honestly.
I was going to say either that or at Dom.
Oh, yeah. Those
I was remembering that earlier. We definitely ran into each other there before.
I haven't been at Dom in years.
Oh, man.
I know, me neither.
I think it's still a thing. I have gone to that plaza in more recent times, and what they've done is all those inside Korean drinking places have now moved outside. So it's like...
Oh, like as of COVID?
Yeah, as of COVID. So you know how there's that courtyard in the center? Yeah, so they've all moved their things out there. So it's kind of a little precarious. It's like, it's kind of lit. You know, it's a lot of drunk people. It is abiding by the rules, but it's a lot of drunk people. So there really are no rules.
Let's go get some chicken hearts, y'all.
It's a little wild.
I'm so down. I have fond
Chicken
memories
hearts?
of being there.
Oh, chicken hearts. Yeah. Fire.
They do those. I remember them bringing those out. So like a bunch of times, because the guy who at least used to run that spot was next door neighbors with my friend who lived across the street at the time.
Oh, that's funny.
And Marco, he like lived next to Marco Henry. And we'd go in there and he would just like lace us with like all the shit, like big ass platters. But it would always be like mad chicken hearts and chicken gizzards. And just like
the best.
He didn't give you an option? No options. I
mean, it was just kind of, you know what I mean? Like those kind of spots, they just bring shit out sometimes, you know? Yeah. But it was tight. I miss that vibe, like where that shit was just mayhem in there.
Yeah. Com had this heyday maybe in like, I don't know. It was like a moment where it was that big, maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. But it was super poppin', and it was just like blaring EDM. And then they had all these like K-pop music videos, and they wouldn't always be playing. It'd be like Backstreet Boys on the music video and like Avicii or something. It was just wild.
And everyone just blasting cigarettes in there.
Oh yeah,
I remember the cops would come in and they'd be like, "Yo, put the cigarettes out."
Yeah, the cops are coming. Put the cigarettes away.
That is so tight.
At like an establishment.
The rules at those places where you toss them on the floor because you'd be like, "Oh, can I get an ashtray?" They're like, "We can't give you paraphernalia."
Yeah, that's right. They would always be like, "Throw that shit on the floor."
Yeah. Or they would give you a wet napkin. That was
I remember that too.
Off a wet napkin.
You know, just so the popo don't get them, but I think a lot of them have got now.
Yeah. The whole lemon, like, and then people would cut the lemon with the top of the soju bottle, but then people would start putting cigarettes in the lemon. Definitely not what it's intended for.
Oh no, you're just like, why does this taste weird? It's like the quintessential drinking a beer that's been ashed in.
Oh my god!
Have you guys ever had that happen? That's totally happened to me once, and it's like. When that happens, when you drink that beer, you don't know that it's a cigarette that's in there. It just doesn't taste right until you go like this and the cigarette pops out. So weird. Don't recommend.
I definitely did that where I knew exactly what it was when I like high school, probably like when I was 18, where I was at a house party or something, and I had Arizona tea, just like high school shit. And I walked out of the room for like, I don't know, whatever happened. I came back in and I just like went to hit it, and it was like had become an ashtray while I was out of the room. And that was very scarring because there's that, I don't know if you guys can remember what that feels like to drink a cigarette, but it lingers.
To drink
that shit don't go away. You gotta bear that, you know.
It's also the shame. Just like
no, I definitely didn't say anything to anyone. I was like just like walked out, put it in the trash, like.
But
that's like everyone at that age too would have just like, no one would have been like, "Oh, my bad, dude." It would have just been like, "Yo, this motherfucker drank the cigarette beer." Like,
idiot drank the cigarette.
Just everyone roasting.
So funny.
Oh man,
Definitely watched a friend pull a cigarette butt out of his mouth after taking out of the inside of his mouth after taking a sip of the bottle one time.
I remember you telling me that story recently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyone in the comments, let us know if you've ever drank a cigarette.
Oh, I was
out
on the
of
private chat. There we go.
Yeah, it's popping on the
what's
other
up?
one.
What's
Tell
up,
me
Thomas?
Sig. I want to know. I need to know.
Sig stories? Wait, what did you ask? I just. was
Oh,
reading the
if
comments.
anyone has ever drank a cigarette out of a liquid drink that was not intentional, because maybe some people do it on purpose.
I'd say the worst part about it is like, given that there's cigarette butts in there, like there could really be anything in there at that point. So. You're just tasting a cigarette.
Oh my
I don't know
God!
what
You
that
know
would
what?
I want to know about that. I don't want to think about
Yeah.
that.
I would rather take the cigarette than like a loogie, because if you're smoking
That's what
cigarettes,
I'm
then people
saying.
got
That's what
then
I'm
people
saying,
got the
man.
loogie too. It's so nasty.
That's well.
In
I
general,
drank a
that's
Gatorade
fucked
bottle
up.
with chew spit. Oh,
Oh, I was literally
Oh.
gonna say it's fucked up when people spit into bottles,
That's
but I wasn't even
fucked.
thinking about like chew.
Yeah,
You don't see too much chew in LA.
that's good.
my heart goes out to you because that sounds really nasty.
That's fucked up.
Lewis, I've been spiked by all three of you before. I don't know about that, Lewis. Maybe.
Just coming for it.
Just drop something in his drink.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, let me go on this like huge tangent about like cigarettes and alcohol. Now, what would you find, like a jewel pod inside? You just find like drink
Like
something,
a
it could be
dead jewel pod. That would be
Like
pretty
a
like
LaCroix.
chill. Yeah, a dead jewel pod and LaCroix, dude.
Dead mango jewel pod inside of sparkling water probably would taste a lot like mango LaCroix.
Yeah, that's how they make it. Actually,
That is how they make it. Yeah.
they use old jewel pods.
Closet of expired
They
jewel
just soak
pods.
it in a vat of.
Yeah.
Honestly, I bet you whatever they use to perfume e-liquid or whatever it's called, and to put flavor into sparkling water is probably not too far off from each other.
I
Same
don't
thing.
think so.
It's like mostly aroma.
Yeah. Definitely like the one grape flavor for everything. Like everything.
You know, I fuck with that.
Grape. Japanese
single.
grape flavor is maybe my favorite flavor.
Japanese grape flavor is the best one. They have like the green flavor and the purple one too. There's different
Yeah.
grapes.
Yo, the musket grape or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That shit was
You can't
crazy.
beat that. You get
No.
like the grape haichu or like all the gummies they have
That's
out there.
The thing that I think of specifically is grape haichu flavor. Do you know the frozen fake grapes that they have in Japan? You ever
They're
got
frozen fake grapes.
fake grapes. They're like it's like grape flavored sorbet in like little fucking circles, and they come in like a bag. It's the most fire shit. I don't know. Last time I was in Japan, I was just we were eating these like constantly. It was like 115 degrees, and we were just eating these fake frozen grapes for days.
Just like
That
popping
sounds
them.
really good, dude.
Yeah,
like-
that thing going, and I've no idea what they're called. I'll never find it again.
I remember people eating as a kid. People would be like, "Bro, like you're eating a frozen Go-Gurt."
Yeah.
And then people would be like, "Have you had frozen grapes?" So,
Yeah, frozen grapes.
That-
dude.
and I was
That's the
like,
one.
"It's cool."
I like frozen grapes. It has to be the green
I know
ones.
it's
You
not
can't
bad. It's just,
I mean, I don't know if
I
it's a
don't feel like
Japanese
I'm-
frozen sorbet grape.
yeah,
I'll
that's
say.
It's not. It's a different.
not.
Different story. It's not
You
regular.
know what I liked to eat when I was a kid out of the freezer? They wasn't supposed to eat straight out of the freezer. Was frozen peas.
What?
I thought they used to eat dry spaghetti, you weirdo.
I did.
No, I'm saying you like the kids that used to eat dry spaghetti.
I would eat the dry ramen. I still do that sometimes.
That could be a snack though. You like mix
Yeah,
it
that
up.
shit's fire. You shake it up with the little powder, dude.
It's just chips.
It's just chip. No, because they fry the noodles to preserve them.
That's fire.
I have a homegirl that used to eat butter. Just eat the butter straight out of the fridge, just butter, nothing else, no salt on the butter, no sugar
that's
on the, just
crazy.
straight like
Fuck.
sticks of butter. And she's like 100 pounds. She's like so small, but she just
How?
eats straight. I don't know.
When it's all in your veins.
It's just like I can't
There's
even
nothing-
imagine like the texture. But I think a lot of
I
kids
feel like-
do that.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like there's probably a lot of like kids or just people in general that do that or a stranger on their own time, on their demon time.
Secret butter eating.
I got a question from Cable Guy, Ben. He said, "What's my favorite Go-Gurt flavor?" I'm trying to remember what the Go-Gurt flavors were.
They were all.
There's like a banana strawberry.
I definitely remember that, but I feel like there were some. I remember a cotton candy one that was pretty bomb.
I'm lactose, so I can't comment on that.
Damn, dude. You could have like a soy.
Yeah, do they have any
soy
oat
yogurt.
milk Go-Gurt? Like terrible.
Not an oat milk fan, dude.
I hate
Toki, do you like oat milk?
I have mixed opinions.
I have very
think
many.
It's okay.
I don't like how viscous it is.
It is really viscous, but that's what's supposed to be like the thing, right? Because it's more because milk is more viscous versus like almond milk is too thin. Like you can't foam an almond milk, for example, if you like want to make a foamy drink. But yeah, I just do straight coconut milk, like Thai coconut milk, and I put that in I make matchas in the morning. So I do matcha with a little bit of water and then actual coconut milk, like a little bit because it's super heavy, and then it's like fire, like a little matcha
sounds
latte.
so good.
Yeah, sans
I
dairy.
just want to highlight this comment from Gangman Smoke. People are sleeping on frozen French fries. If you put it in the NutriBullet, it's actually bomb as hell.
You know what?
There's something to be said for that.
Would it not be frozen mashed potatoes at that point?
It's a little mix up the medicine, different consistency there. You know?
Yeah. What if you did that and then you breaded something with that meal or whatever you call it?
A little potato tempura?
I see that. I see what you mean.
Honestly, that's like those Korean corn dogs with the potatoes on the outside.
I had those on the show. I ordered them and I got like a variety pack that came with 6 of them.
They're pretty fucking good. But I've had them a couple times, and the second time I kind of went all in with like you put the sugar on it, like all this shit, and it left me kind of like I can't eat that again for like a while. Have you had that shit on me?
No, never. I want to try the one that's like the mix with the hot Cheeto, for the fucking crust.
It's like a corn dog, like a hot Cheeto corn dog.
Yeah, like hot Cheeto fried chicken or some shit. Like,
they got that.
Yeah.
If you go down to Echo Park, they sell that on the street, but I don't know if you want to get it right now. I seen them sell it. They put it on corn, like the.
I'm so fucking down with that.
Yeah.
It's pretty fire. That being said, since we've been talking about this, did you guys get food for the show?
I did. Okay. I said we did.
Okay. So let me give an introduction for everyone tuning in right now who hasn't seen this segment before. Basically, I ask my guests to support local restaurants or their favorite place by ordering some takeout. Occasionally, people are not able to order, so they'll cook for themselves. So we've been seeing a variety on this show. And yeah, Jasper, Groundislava, what did you get?
I got Ruts today, which is a Hawaiian place in Mar Vista, which is where I live. And it's really fire. I got some barbecue chicken. You know,
we got to see the thing. So it's.
I know. It's like Hawaiian barbecue chicken.
Oh,
I kind of want a little. You can go real hard at Ruts and go for like Hawaiian French toast and fucking, spam loco moco and all that shit. But I've been on my, given that we're spending so much time sitting around doing fucking nothing right now, trying to, so went for the chicken, the rice, the vegetables.
Yum. Nice. I do like a Hawaiian macaroni salad. They do.
It was really hard to not get that tonight.
It's pretty fire. If I ended up there, I'd just be like, well, why just eat part of it? I just got to do.
Yeah. It's because it's like, if it wasn't right by my house, I wouldn't. But
that's true.
It's regular. So, but yeah, like a loco moco with mac salad, that shit goes hard.
Dude, I've tried making a vegan one. Because you can get, I don't know, sometimes it was like, the like...
Vegan Spam is kind of intriguing.
Not the Spam kind, the Loco Moco it's usually with a hamburger patty. Have you seen that?
Right. Yeah,
it's like rice, a hamburger patty, gravy, and an egg. So like...
I just think of the Spam one because my girlfriend always gets the Spam patty. But the hamburger one's the one I've had more. That one's really good.
I haven't tried it with Spam. I don't know if vegan Spam is possible.
I know, that's why I was like, if you could figure that out.
I feel like the consistency of Spam lends itself to veganism.
That's what I was thinking. It's such a processed product. Like maybe they could just.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe if you just stuck a bunch of like Beyond Meat sausage and like blended it into a slurry and then put it in a can.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd have to like put like 30% of that just be grease then, because I feel like Spam is just it's just all fucking fat.
It's got like the gelatinous edges on it.
Yeah.
Like, what's in a Vienna sausage? Anyone know?
I realized recently that a Vienna sausage is probably the same thing as like, so you know, a hot dog is called a wiener because it's from Vienna. So I was thinking, like, is a Vienna sausage just a wiener? Is it just hot dogs?
Same thing.
I was just stoned thinking about this like a couple weeks ago. I don't think I've ever even eaten a Vienna sausage, but
I don't think I have either.
is it just hot dogs in a can?
No, they're a little different. I used to be really into them when I was little. I don't know what it is. I think Korean people just eat a lot of processed food because of like all the army people being in there, so they eat mad hot dogs. Vienna sausages are like tiny sausages, but they don't have a skin on them. They're like soft, and to some degree, they're kind of like cat food. But they were tubular. And I haven't eaten it since I was like a kid, but I used to like it a lot. Just like straight eat it. Like,
no, I've definitely had people tell me they're like, low key, I still fuck with Vienna sausages. There's something about them that maybe I didn't grow up with them, so they're a little. I'm usually down for all that kind of shit too, but maybe I'll have to try them now.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't vouch for them as an adult. Maybe I'll eat it now and be like, I don't know. But
they come in like a cat food can, I feel like, too. It's like a tiny can.
The little can like this. You'd have to like sludge them out because it comes with like a weird gelatin and then like put it in a bowl and just microwave. I don't actually know how you're supposed to eat it. I think that's how
that should be a segment on your stream, is you just like, everyone gets a mystery package in the mail and it's just a bunch of Vienna sausage.
That would actually be pretty good. Just go and like FedEx everyone something they've never had. Have you guys ever had that? Well, wait, hold on. I'm like going. I'm gonna ask a good question afterwards. But Henry, what did you get?
Oh, I got really boring avocado toast from Blue Bottle.
Y'all are on some
eats that every day.
Every day. They closed all the coffee shops around my house.
Seriously?
It's so grim right now. I live in like kind of peak 3rd Fairfax territory.
Yeah.
And all of the like hyper local shit closed.
That's
like everything.
Fucked. Yeah, a few places have closed around me too. You guys are you're next to like Air One or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely do that too much. they own part of me at this point. Like
have you guys seen this viral image? Because an Air One opened in Silver Lake, which is closer to where I live. And then there was this chick walking a dude.
Yeah.
I saw that. It's fire.
It was actually someone I know who posted it. But then I was walking around Echo Park Lake with my friend, and we saw her there. My friend was like, "Is that the what is it called again? It's like a dominatrix."
Kind of thing?
Yeah.
So the
was
photo,
she with the
was she walking?
No, and it was a different dude. So there was a dominatrix walking a man at this grocery store called Air One in Silver Lake. So that's the background story. It became a viral image. Yeah. And then I go to a park with my friend and she's like, I think that's the girl because she has the red hair and the big ass boots and the glasses. Mm-hmm. And then we start trailing her, but not suspiciously, but maybe a little. So we're like running after her. And then she goes into an Uber and then we look and we confirmed it was her.
I'm
hoping to see her more.
She was making money. I knew it wasn't just a costume. I was like, she's making money.
Oh no!
I wish it came full circle and she popped up in the chat right now and was like, "Yo."
I wish.
Shout out to the dominatrix with the glasses.
Big shout out. Yeah. Los Angeles is a fan.
I have like a personal grudge against Erewhon because they opened one a while. I moved back to this type of town maybe a year ago, but a few years back I lived over here also, and it was right when they opened the one in Venice. Mm-hmm. And I just remember driving by it to go there, and I'd never been to an Erewhon, and they only had valet parking. And I was like, dude, I'm not valeting my car to go in the grocery store. I mean, I know it's like a special grocery store, but I was just...
It's a special grocery store.
It's not a grudge. I just was like, that's... Whenever I think of it, I'm like, dude, fuck that place, bro.
They do free valet at the one that just opened here, but I don't know if it's like an introductory gimmick or something.
It was just the notion of having to valet my car to go in a grocery store.
That's
like,
true. That's
I guess it's
weird.
par for the course being in Venice at this point in time, but like, yeah,
it's just really funny.
It's funny. I totally get it. There's not, limited space, but it's the principle is funny.
Yeah.
Blue Bottle have valet for me.
Man, I was gonna say, Erewhon was the first place I ever tried a bulletproof coffee, and I had a panic attack in the middle of the Armenian genocide parade.
That makes
crazy.
So I drank one because I was like, oh, I heard these things are good for you. So me and my friend, we drive to the Air One, the one that's like closer to the Grove, and we order one. And I don't even drink coffee. So I drink some of it, and maybe a fourth or less of this like tall cup. And I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I can't drive. So I have to have my friend drive my car. But then while she's driving my car, we get stuck in the middle of the Armenian genocide protest or a parade that they were having. I don't know if it's a parade, but protest that they were having, and we're stuck in gridlock traffic. Then she starts getting a panic attack from it too. And then we're just like moping and almost crying on the inside. We're just like shells of human being. Like
a group shared anxiety attack.
I just ran into that parade like the other day when I was coming to your house, Henry.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They were like,
I live right near the embassy.
Yeah,
because they were protesting the.
He lives like 2 blocks from me.
Yeah,
there was like I was parked outside of his house, and there was like hundreds of people walking by.
Yeah, the Artak thing, right? Probably.
Yeah,
that shit is.
Really they have a dope
sad.
flag.
It's crazy.
I didn't know how cool their flag was before that.
Oh yeah, the Armenian.
Just on a random note, it's great colors.
Good stuff.
So okay, so I can start eating the food I have. I got.
What did you get?
Okay, so it never ever works out where when I order something healthy, the guests always end up eating something like really massively greasy, and then when I order something healthy, or when I eat something crazy, everyone, I don't know. Right now, it just seems like you guys are eating healthy, and this is not the healthiest meal, but it's from this place called Gra, and it's in Echo Park, and it is so good. I basically ate half my meal before I got on the show. So this.
Oh, damn, that was fire.
Asian pear and burrata salad. And I plated it myself too. I wanted it to look nice. Wow. And then I got these pickled cauliflower guys, like curried. And I got 2 pizzas, in which these are just parts of the pizzas because I didn't want to bring all of them.
I was about to say, I thought you got unhealthy, and you were just showing like salad and shit.
Oh yeah, oh no. And then I already ate 1 slice of one of these, and there's still like
so good.
more. Yeah. So this one is mushroom, and it's so good. There's a truffly thing. It's roasty, and then I feel like it can taste some like lemon oil or something on it. And this is a classic margarita.
That looks so good.
Yeah, this place, Grub, remember, support your local businesses. They have a nice patio to eat outside at. All their pizza's made with sourdough, which is also easier for digestion. And they got the vino and stuff. So I'll be eating this while we listen to music, which I'm finally going to play some music. So Jasper, you picked the song by Viper the rapper, Maybe One Day She'll See Me Again. And I'm curious as to...
Thank God you picked this song.
Have you listened to Viper at all before, Toki?
I don't think so. What's the vibe?
So Viper's like
it's a lot.
He's like a underground Houston guy who's been doing like weird beat tapes and like mixtapes for I don't know, I think since the 90s, and they're really, really fucking weird. But he's definitely got like in the last few years he's picked up a lot of steam on the internet in terms of just being like odd, kind of like weird based music.
Super outsider art version.
Yeah, but like I kind of always thought he was like that, but apparently he actually was like when earlier in the early 2000s stuff actually had some was known as kind of just like a local like Houston kind of staple for the, that kind of like tape scene. But yeah, this is
a lot of it till I went there.
Yeah, it's trippy, man. That's a city that's like, it's fucking huge, bro.
Yeah,
there's so much culture there and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This song is I would say it's definitely his most listenable song.
Okay.
Most of it's like really fucking weird and weird.
I love a weird song. Like, yeah. I love like, what is a scale of weird to someone? It's like,
yeah,
like Justin Bieber could be weird to a certain person.
Totally.
I was listening to it, and it was interesting too. It's very, very lo-fi. I almost thought it was just like low bit rate, but it's a super cool song. So we'll listen to it, and then we'll talk about it. I have some little facts about it. One day you'll see me. Start eating our food a little bit.
Yeah.
One day you'll see.
It's so good.
One day you'll see me. One day you'll see. I won't forget about us. I was a throw kind of thug, but every day you go through my mug. It's something about you I can't shake. All the years you know me, all the cheese we made, I still call you every day and send a text at night. One day we'll hook up again and everything will be tight. See these boys are jealous cause the cash I stack, they want me gone.
I like how he raps.
And
like you can't really hear it.
It's a really weird production.
We gon' both keep getting paid and I'm gon' keep rapping. We done finally made it.
Seeing people type out, you'll cower.
And we can't be faded.
What's that?
It's great, and I'll be thinking of you and all the things we used to do. Like always holding hands when we rode in my car.
So I have a little bit of info about the song. So this came out in 2009, which is a long time ago. It's 11th track on the Hiram Clark Hustler and was reportedly inspired by a dream about an ex of Viper's who sadly died. The song is a romantic pledge to her, and Viper sings about what could have been between them if she was still alive.
Heavy song.
Yeah. Did you guys know that?
I actually, like, when I was getting the link to send it to you, I think I saw a comment that mentioned that or something. Someone, or just when I Googled it or something, I saw some mention of it being about an ex or something.
Oh. Dude.
Rest in peace, Viper's first love.
Yeah.
Let's see. The song samples My Place by T-Pain.
Damn, I did not know that.
Didn't know that.
I was wondering, like, what that was from.
That's crazy.
It is unknown if the sample was credited to him or even cleared for Viper's use. So we'll
no
assume
chance.
probably no.
No chance. Not a fucking chance.
I won't break your heart. You're my only girl.
Okay. So what would be your favorite like desert island food if you ever stuck with one food for the rest of your life? That wouldn't kill you or give you a heart attack or anything.
This fool's gonna say avocado toast, bro.
Not even. I would probably pick like, man, that's really hard. Maybe a kind of a sushi. I feel like I could never get tired of just like eating raw salmon all the time. I feel like I could eat raw salmon and cucumbers.
That's fact, dude.
For like every fucking meal for the rest of my life and not get bored.
I feel that. I would say sushi too.
I didn't think even though sushi's my favorite food, for some reason I didn't think of that for like desert island food. Just because the idea of like sushi, just having it on a desert island, I guess you would get it out of the water. Not that that's part of the question.
Like you need to source pizza out of the water.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what
You're just stuck with it, like a stockpile of it enough to last you the rest of your life.
Yeah, we're not figuring out logistically like.
I was gonna say. Oh, sorry. What were you saying, bro?
I don't know. It's just hard to decide between Mexican food, Japanese food, and Italian food. Just
and it has to be, and it has to be a food. It has to be like one thing that you can eat.
Man.
I was gonna maybe say rotisserie chicken, dude.
That's a good one.
I can't get tired of that shit. Like,
you can eat chicken like indefinitely. It's one of those.
California Chicken Cafe.
I had that for dinner.
You just get California Chicken Cafe on the island.
Yeah, to the island, dude.
To the island every day.
We get the little surge charge, but it's not too bad, dude.
I like when you live in desert island, but you can only order delivery from one spot. They'll drone drop it to you.
That just sounds like some like premise of some like fucked up movie like Old Boy.
Yeah.
It basically is. That's funny.
I mean, that's basically what the fucking quarantine feels like. Just sitting alone, or relatively alone, and then ordering food.
You're fucking right.
Let's see. I want to ask you guys some more like music related questions.
Yes.
So Jasper, I know that you actually had a song put in Streets of Rage, and
Yeah.
it's a really interesting thing. Like people don't understand the process of like how a song ends up in a video game, and sometimes it's just like winning the lottery. Someone's like, "We just want your song in the game."
That's like what it was. I mean, they hit me up and they were just like, love your music, you know, which is kind of like what you always want to happen, but
Mhm.
it's not usually how things work out.
Mhm.
I mean, it can, but you usually have to, you know, pursue things a bit. And I have been for a long time with doing video game stuff, but this one kind of just landed in my lap and it was, you know, fucking awesome.
Do you like the game?
Yeah, the game's dope. I mean, it was a little before my time, but I definitely played it growing up.
Mhm.
And the second one, I mean, they all have legendary soundtracks, but particularly the second one was like one of the kind of pivotal games to have like a full on, like legitimately like house and techno soundtrack with like, you know, it was like rooted in music of the time.
That's right. Who's the
But
guy?
so
It's a
yeah.
really old game, right? The original one?
yeah, the original one I think came out in, I want to say the late 80s, and then
Yeah,
the second one was like the early 90s.
What's the guy's name? There's like I think it's like this like really famous Japanese dude that did the score for it, and he did like a bunch of them, like not Castlevania, maybe something like that. There's like a dude
I don't know.
that did all those
I can't
early
remember
like,
his name.
Nintendo games. I forgot too.
I think he did a couple songs, or I think he was supposed to, and he didn't. He only maybe ended up doing one or something on the soundtrack that I did. But a lot of people contributed to it. But
Cool. This is what happens when I eat a food I really want to eat. Then I stop asking questions.
I know. I was thinking the same shit. I'm like answering and eating at the same time.
Which is fine. This is real life.
I just housed my avocado toast in like 30 seconds.
I honestly almost got rotisserie chicken again for lunch today. But then I was thinking about like sitting there like eating chicken on camera with like chicken all over my hands. Wouldn't have been very,
That's kind of
You should've
wouldn't have
done
been the
it.
most flattering vibe. I know, in retrospect, it would have been kind of fucking badass, dude.
It would have been so tight, dude.
The chat would have loved that, dude.
I think so. Do you guys have a favorite video game soundtrack? Like one that you're really into? Both, either of you guys?
I don't know. I've never been like a massive gamer in my adult life, so probably would have to be like an old game that I played as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same for me. I think.
Damn, I don't even know.
You gonna see Mario Kart? No, I'm just kidding.
Just the
I mean,
original. The
I
original.
like Smash Bros a lot.
Yeah, I love that theme song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I have that in the background of my life, like a lot. Like that song is just playing on the TV in the background, like constantly. It's just like the fucking the home screen is just.
It's so that game too. So like, it's kind of always been playing my whole life.
It's always
like
been on in the background.
Both have always been like getting high and playing Smash Bros since we were kids.
Literally.
So like, and then you stop playing for a bit and it loops and you'll leave and come back. It's still going. So all
Fall
those
asleep.
Smash
It's
Bros
just in your dreams forever.
I definitely would not say that's my favorite, but
Okay,
it's iconic.
Do you guys have a favorite video game then? Someone asks.
Soul Calibur.
All right, that was a quick answer.
I've been playing it a lot on Dreamcast, the old one.
Ooh.
Game is sick. I'm trying to think what my favorite game is. My favorite soundtrack might have to be Phantasy Star Online. Kind of a dope one, Dreamcast game.
Very interesting.
But favorite game? Wait, the question was favorite game, right?
Yeah.
Now the question has changed to favorite game.
Man, I don't. It's tough because you know. I don't know.
4.
How
Like,
about favorite childhood game? We'll limit it a little bit.
Yeah.
One that's near and dear to your heart.
maybe Mega Man X.
All right.
I wanna-
Also, the fucking music in that game is definitely top. top 3, 5 maybe.
Ooh.
We highlight the remembering of the Wu-Tang fighting game.
Yo,
What?
that shit was fire. Also, the Def Jam game.
What?
Yeah,
What are these? I have no idea what these are.
That
Wu-Tang
shit
had a
was
game?
tight.
you could be DMX in that shit, right?
Yeah, you could be a lot of those.
Yeah. DMX in a fighting game. It's good.
Was he a good character though?
I think so. I mean, it's the only one I remember, so probably.
That game was sick.
Everyone
dude.
picks DMX, so it's just DMX playing other DMXs.
Well, I'm gonna look up who was in that. The
Yeah, we need to know. People need to know.
Def Jam. What was it called again? Def Jam game roster. There we go.
In the cut, man. I don't know what. I never heard of those. If I had a,
Oh,
if I
they're
could
not.
play the.
Hey,
Oh,
Ghost Bug.
the show loves a
It's
good animal cameo.
Oh, you know what?
I have two.
Yeah, right here. This is Lola.
Oh, hi, Lola. Oh, you
We
guys
got-
both. Usually, I have my cat in here, but then I left him outside the room so he didn't get his hair on my pizza because I was really excited to eat today. Usually, he like walks up here and he always faces his anus towards camera. It's a really common thing
Classic.
he tends to do.
That's what they love.
That's a yeah.
You gotta
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
the fucking. I just pulled that out. That list.
Def Jam.
So the game had Capone, Comp. I don't know who Comp is.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of people in this. I'm not gonna go through all of them. Flavor
Anyone
Flav was in it. Freeway was in it.
Freeway was in
Ghostface. Henry Rollins is in it.
That's
What?
fucking funny.
What?
This is all in the Def Jam fighting game.
Henry
Joe-
Rollins versus DMX is good.
Joe Budden, Ludacris, Method Man, Redman, Scarface. Let's see. Damn, Dub C was in it.
That's really funny that Joe
This
Budden.
dude, this so many. I'm not gonna name all these, but
There's a
Lil
lot of
Flip,
people.
Prodigy, Bubba Sparks. Damn, David Banner.
Imagine
Real funny.
Bubba Sparks versus DMX. That would be fun
Yeah.
to watch.
That's
That's
fire.
I would just want to
Man.
fight Henry Rollins every time.
Henry Rollins is a random one, isn't it? Like,
He's
why?
a weird vibe.
Why is he on there?
What happened to David Banner? What's he doing now?
That's a good question. Same with Mike Jones.
Um,
I feel like
Maybe
Mike
they-
Jones is playing.
maybe,
Mike Jones is relaxed.
maybe they just like invested in like. I feel like car dealerships. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes you just end up doing that. You know,
Yeah.
you come
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
You come out of something like playing football, and you just end up like rapping, and then you end up.
Like hearing
Doing something.
Cameron has like dozens of bodegas or something in New
That's-
York. Yeah.
That's a flip. I know that. Shit. What's his name? E40. E40 has. It's either E40 or someone else has like a bunch of fat burgers in the Bay Area.
Oh yeah. I've heard that. I
Yeah.
forget who it is. I think you're right.
I think it's E.
Yeah.
It's not E40. It's like someone else that's like up there.
Genius.
I think so. Let's listen to this other song. So, you picked the song "This Is Not a Drill" by Izzy Ice. I don't Ice. So I'm not familiar with this artist. Tell
Yeah,
me
he's
a little
new.
bit.
He's new from New York. Shit, he just released a song this summer. Produced by Asmo, another New York artist. Just on some like weirdo electronic stuff, but Ice is good stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a video for it. People can look it up.
Was this put out on We Did It or?
No.
Oh.
I actually don't know if this is self-released or on a label. If he did for it.
How did you find the track?
We have some mutual friends and just started talking online. Someone sent me the song and I was like, the fuck? And we just started talking. Yeah, the video's insane. So I would highly recommend.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
we
So
lost
we'll
it
listen to
there.
the song for now. This is Not a Drill by Ice. Ooh, love a little jungle.
Yeah.
No. Cold. Iceman. Bitch. I'ma walk your pale. Talking dance. Ice go, baby, feel the chill. This is not a drill. No. This is not a drill.
you guys want to play the music video? We can play it. Do you think it's worth it?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do
Pretty
that.
Is my mic working? My headset like fucked up for a second.
You sound
Okay,
fine.
cool.
Yep.
You sound chill. Michael, our Mike, can you put on the video? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. 1 sec. In the
I
meantime,
think you can do that. Thank
do
you,
you guys
Michael.
do you guys eat pizza folded or straight?
Depends.
I eat it straight. But
You
when I'm
don't
in New
fold?
York and I'm not Millie rocking, I'm eating pizza folded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow, we got the video.
All right. Can we watch it full screen? Can you? Or not? Never mind.
I'm a walking bear. Shit, talking damn. Ice go, baby, fit the chair. This is not a trail. No, this is not a trail. Let it fail. I'm a walking bear. Talking damn. Ice go, baby, fit the chair. This is not a trail. This is not a trail. Jumping tools, great digger rail. Save me a meal. It might take me a second, but I'ma get it fair. I don't make it like a stash. Call a nigga crack. I feel like ice, but I flavor like crack mac. They call me on attack. I start to walk with a black. I know you never said off this back. You make me feel attacked. Tell me something, I hate you out. I keep shit like a wet like couch. Let's go, baby. Chill. This is not a trail. This is not a trail. No trail. Let it build. Let it build. Let it build. Let it build. Let it spill. 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 I don't wanna love shit again. Say hello to a little friend. I don't wanna love shit again. Say hello to a little friend. I'm a walking pale, ice cold, baby, feel the chill. This is not a trail. This is not a trail. I'm a walking pale, talking tales. Ice cold, baby, feel the chill. This is not a trail. This is not a trail. It's not a trail. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Oh yeah.
That shit's
Fire.
fire, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, he's really good. So is Ace Mode. Production is insane.
So then, okay, Henry, I know that you scored a film. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, "That's wild." I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a very like it's a pivot that a lot of producers start to do, and like it's like if you're ready, if you're good, scoring is really difficult.
Yeah.
I was wondering how your experience. Okay, so you agree. So I was wondering how your experience was because it's a full score for a full length film, lots of songs. I always think that when you're doing film, it's so collaborative. So you have to be able to be like, if they say this should sound sadder, you're like, what does sad mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. So
100%.
I'm curious how that was for you.
Really interesting process because it's like how we work. It's like the revolution of being able to do everything ourselves and like not have to like listen to anyone. Well, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's like it was the first time I had to like work with a client or something like figure out compromises and try to work with someone else's vision and try and like meld to that more so than when you're a producer working with like a vocalist or something. It's much more give and take. It's like one-to-one kind of like who's doing what. But this is like very much you have to follow the director because it's like their vision, you know. So it's like obviously they pick me for what I can do, but yeah, it's sorry, I'm like the worst at talking.
See,
But,
no one's been talking to anyone for a long time.
yeah, it's like I'm realizing I'm like, wait.
I do that like every time I'm on any kind of call.
Every
Like,
time
we're not
I have
calling.
to speak more than like 3 sentences now, I'm like, oh,
Especially
wait.
when I start to glance at the other people, like and see them listening to me.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I forgot how to do that.
Like, do I look you in the eyes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shit, yeah, it was really difficult, like, to do all like 18, you know, different kind of original pieces that, all kind of say something different. It's like making more than an album's worth of material in a shorter span of time sometimes, you know, so.
I feel that.
It was pretty crazy, but cool experience overall. And like, I really liked the director in the film, so it was like easy to work with.
That's good.
Yeah, you know, for being my first experience, it was pretty, you know, seamless on that front. So it was like, oh, this can happen. We can do these.
These
Yeah.
are options available.
Yeah.
I did sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, go.
No, I was gonna say I did a game soundtrack in 2018, but it ended up getting the whole project got like kind of shelved. But same thing where I never like you know, it's different doing one thing for someone versus doing like a whole body
Yeah.
work, but that has to function as a singular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you're saying, there is this give and take, but there's also more of this kind of expectation of like, I'm doing the other stuff, so I need like I have you because I trust you to do the things that I can't do and also like don't have the vision for.
Mhm.
So it's like you're meeting expectations, but you also have to not just if you're just meeting expectations, then you
have to provide. You're like on the hook to provide your own insight to
100%.
to the emotion of the scene, which is really hard sometimes because some things will be too directing or too leading, you know, like
Totally.
when people are like, oh, your music is so cinematic, why don't you do more scores? And it's like that doesn't necessarily lend itself to scoring. Like when people my music is too much a lot of the time. I think a lot of scores, you know, and our favorite scores that we don't realize are like one note a lot of the time.
Yeah. Lots of reverb and long decays.
Sound.
And like a string sound and maybe some plucking sound.
Oh,
you know?
It's like realistically, like one of my favorite songs created for score is the Trent Reznor like Facebook song. And it's like that's literally one note and it's so good.
It's so fun.
And it's more it's more creating this kind of atmosphere and energy than it is kind of creating like a really cinematic song that goes somewhere. You kind of want it to be more flat and atmospheric to give any kind of like emotional direction that isn't leading in itself.
Well, the scene or whatever the, you know, game or like movie or whatever, like whatever the real focus is, not the music, has to carry the narrative and the progression.
Yeah.
So like when you try to build that into the music, suddenly it's like it's a music video, which it's not, you know?
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. It's like everyone, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of people that, you know, we've been around for, you know, this last decade that have kind of pivoted into doing more scoring. And it's just like I've tried like a couple scoring things, but then it's difficult. And at some point when you decide to do that, there's this, I don't know if you guys agree, but there's an idea where if you decide to go into scoring, then you might have to like give up your musician hat for a little bit because those things take a lot of time.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm like a stay-at-home dog dad, so I like don't have to do anything. And I'll opt to like not tour for a while. So that's what happened. And now I have no choice.
Yeah. Whoops.
That was like my 2018. I very much had devoted to this video game I was working on because it was, you know, I was going to do more projects and stuff, but it was very much like you were saying, the kind of thing where it was like, I'm going to put my music on hold for the year or for you know, an indefinite amount of time to see this through. But, you know, after the fact, it really made me realize like it's tough to, even if it's a matter of like the headspace you're in for both of them, you know, to occupy that same headspace or the two different headspaces at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can be tough for me to switch gears in general to like, you know, working on my own shit and then like trying to make something for someone who has a different sound.
That's totally true. I find it works a lot. Like when I see really successful music score people who do scores, they work with directors and they have this balance where they keep working with each other really often. And it's like you need to find your like yin into your yang, like that one director that you can work with where it doesn't feel like you're in service so much and it's more collaborative.
That's kind of what happened with Bobby and Ari Aster, the Hereditary and Midsummer.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about that. Hacks and Cloak, Bobby Krillick.
Yeah.
It's for anyone who hasn't seen Midsummer. The score is insane.
Insane.
Yeah, and I'm like, we
Really
were talking about it, and he's just like, he had to watch these scenes over and over and over again. I'm like, bro, that's like kind of gnarly.
I almost didn't make it through. I mean, not to spoil anything, but it's fucking some really fucked up shit in the movie.
Yeah, there's some really gruesome, like, woo.
I can't imagine having to watch those scenes. I mean, I guess at a certain point you'd start, you know, realize
like
what you're looking at. But
it'd be really crazy to score a really intense horror. I kind of have always wanted to do that, but I feel like it would be kind of torturous.
Yeah,
I have this like thing where I think about that, and I always think about like, you know, when I think about my favorite movies with great scores, and how I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome if that was my score. But then thinking about like, then that would have totally ruined that movie for me.
Yep.
Not that that's a big deal, but like, I just think about that for like my favorite movies or whatever, you know, pieces of any kind of work. How for the people who made it, they're like, I think it's tight. Like I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so hard to be objective from the inside.
Yeah.
You have to have such a good understanding of emotion because what's happy to me, it might not be happy to someone else. They'll be like, well, this sounds kind of sad. I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of happy, you know, and being able to fulfill that. Another score I really liked was The Revenant, and it was Ryuichi Sakamoto that did the Revenant sounds score. Yeah. And that's a clear example. Like he does, you know, classical music. He's done like the Yellow Magic Orchestra, like all the, like crazy Japanese stuff. But The Revenant is just all icy, like drony, icy, ambient, and understanding how little, not to overdo it, like you had said, Henry. And I'm like,
I mean, he's
got a lot of admiration.
He's so good at finding space. Like he's really good at lending his craft to different movies and soundtracks. Yeah. Like even his remixes are so incredible too. It just like doesn't make sense to me. He makes
also kind of defining that sound you hear in like, I mean, it's kind of I feel like some of the stuff he's done, his piano stuff, has kind of really inspired a lot of like sort of like classic sort of like anime soundtrack sounds and shit where it's like classical, but it's got this sort of Japanese kind of poppy sensibility to it.
Totally.
Did you know Did you know that the Trey Songz song could yes, that's the Ryuichi.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I didn't know that till recently.
That was something where when we were listening to Trey Songz a bunch back when that was a thing, like rather.
Yeah.
Bomb record too.
Yeah.
But, at the time I was like, I knew it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Same thing where like maybe 4 years ago I was listening to Ryuichi Sakamoto stuff and I was like, that's where that shit is from.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's like a minute loop. Minute long loop. Great.
He's really progressive in his ideas for music, so he's not like super anti-sample or anything like that. It's a pretty cool thing. It's funny when you talked about the anime thing because all the Joe Hisashi stuff for all the Ghibli stuff, and even talking about video game soundtracks, Breath of the Wild, that has that same cinematic sort of Totoro-y thing going on.
It's
that soundtrack I really liked.
Where it's classical, but it's got this. The melodies are just a little bit more progressive, a little bit more repetitive, and like a little bit more. I don't know. I love classical music, but like, you know, I've never quite connected with a lot of like Western classical music, I guess you'd call it, where it's just it feels just so, you know, I don't really sense, you know, patterns in it, and my ear doesn't catch on to things. But when I listen to stuff like Ryuichi Sakamoto and Joe Hisashi, it's like there's these motifs that are so much more like pop music, but it's still very classical realm, and it just I mean, everyone loves that shit.
Totally, and like it's a little bit of jazz too, because they do use like
Yeah,
these
always, yeah.
like jazz progressions, and it's always like it just makes you feel so like warm and sweet inside. I love listening to that stuff.
That's good.
Speaking of which, let's listen to this song, your song Overflow, and I want to talk about your EP too. So you released an EP in spring, and you released an EP in spring, and it was called Hidden Wellspring. That was really, really hard for me to say. We're going to listen to the song, but I'm curious as to how you felt releasing music kind of early, mid quarantine.
Yeah. That was kind of the album that I just kind of wrapped up, the LP.
Mm-hmm.
It went through a lot of phases, and there was an earlier phase, probably like maybe 2017, where I was really going in more of a rock direction. And I was really inspired by like, speaking of anime music, like I've always liked anime, but I go through phases of like heavily watching anime. Right now I haven't been watching it all, but I go through phases of it. During that time I was really like just watching a ton of anime, and it just, the anime intros are just such a thing. There's a style of music, and but I was just really into that and creating a narrative around that kind of thing, and sort of being inspired by that type of rock stuff. But
this is real life. We get phone calls.
The rendition of the album was more going that direction, and I just didn't feel like I liked it on the scale of an album, so I kind of shelved those songs. And I don't know. I just earlier this year I'd been sitting on this part of the album that I had cut off and kind of replaced it with music, and I realized it worked really well on its own as an EP. And so it was nice to be able to take this thing that I felt like was very different from the other music I was working on. And was kind of bummed that I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And then I guess I've never really been like a person to release a lot of EPs either, and like smaller releases. So I don't know. I kind of want to do more stuff like that, just doing Bandcamp releases like that. It's just I get so stuck in this pattern of working on big albums. But it was refreshing to put something out kind of.
It's so important. I feel like that's the biggest, I don't know if I can say that like my advice is worth anything, but the main thing is like, don't hold on to shit. Just like you have.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Because you'll never put it out. And sometimes you wait so long that by the time you put it out, it's not even relevant to yourself anymore.
Gotta
get it out there.
Like that.
Wait, I think this Friday is Bandcamp Friday, which is tomorrow. So everyone go support your local indie artists, indie labels. Tomorrow's the day.
Yeah, sure.
What would we do without Bandcamp?
I don't know.
It's
such a nice community too.
I wish we all just were doing.
I know.
Fucking.
I really like the idea. I saw someone say recently that there should just be an indie Spotify that's just a separate pool from mainstream Spotify, and I was like,
I mean, there's things like that. People are starting up.
Yeah. I'm like, like, what if you wanted like a curated selection of music that's like someone's stuff that you had to pay, like, I don't know. If there was an alternative, I would pay for it.
That's maybe this will be your next pivot.
That's me. Well, I just gave up all the sauce to the chat.
Yeah, all the sauce.
Yeah. Someone's going to take that idea, but then, not give you credit for it in the future.
So proprietary. Proprietary idea.
Okay, but
Spotify.
Let's play let me play this track. So Overflow by Groundislava.
Yeah, this is the one from Street Parade.
Okay. Did you guys already finish your food?
No, I couldn't. I'm fucking full.
I smashed that in like.
They give me so much fucking food. That's my voice too. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
really?
voice.
Yeah, because I had to
I like it.
sample, but I redid it so I didn't get in trouble.
I've done that before too.
Yeah.
I think we all have to do that.
Yep. Definitely have done that before.
Ooh, got like the New Jack Swing.
Yeah. This was a really fucking intense song. There's a lot of work.
It's so perfect for the game. It's so great, dude.
That's my voice too. The what?
The acid line here is so good.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I haven't listened to this in a while. I want to make more shit like this, dude.
Yeah, you should.
You gotta make more. There's a lot of this like 90s rave revival thing happening right now.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ooh. Yo, I used to hate the like 303 acid baseline. Like I hated it. I still like don't like it in certain ways, but when it's like this, it's okay. But if it sounds like really aggressive acid house, I just have to like leave the room.
Yeah.
Because
It's
it's like the resonance filter, but it makes it feel like there's a tiny little worm about to eat my brain. So I have to like exit. I'm gonna have to leave.
Is brutal.
My favorite little worm.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to do that because like I love acid house and acid techno and like just techno music in general. Like I've always loved that shit, and it's just I never feel like it's quite. I get to show that with my music, and part of that is just I feel like my intuition as an artist lends itself more to like melodic music. But like I have, like I'm like a gear dude, and I make a lot of that kind of music at my house. And so I don't know, whenever I try to make something like that to release, it just, my own music that I do with Groundislava is very intuitive, and it's stuff that just comes to me. And I really don't like when I'm making something and I feel like I'm trying to fulfill a template or a format or a genre. So yeah, I always like talk myself out of doing, not talk myself out, but that track was fun because I was like, because the original game is like all that kind of funky, house and shit. So I was like, I'm gonna do a fucking acid line. I'm gonna do this 2-step beat. But it was a 2-step New Jack swing kind of fucking. I was just going full 90s with that shit.
Yeah, all of the sounds in one. I was on I forgot I was like in a car. I think I was in an Uber or something like that, and they're playing this song, which was like every single jock jam, but one song. It was like all the jock jams, but in one song, and I was like, "Damn, they're kind of all the same song." Like it just put it in this weird context where I was like, "I get it now." And then I had like all these jock jam songs stuck in my head for like the next like 2 weeks. I was like playing them at home, like playing jock jams.
Sounds like a really good thing to play in a DJ set. The
jock jams, yeah, they're like the ultimate hype thing. Someone has to go and start like doing free throws and sing good vibrations.
Stage production, just a guy doing free throws. It's tight.
I think so. That should just be stage production, like live shows.
That's what I'm saying. Like, instead of lights, you just have a guy shooting a basketball. That's
or like a t-shirt can, dude.
What?
Just one guy?
T-shirt can.
Just one guy.
Okay.
We just hire a guy
to shoot threes, dude.
Yeah, he's just playing horse by himself.
That'd be fire.
You would be in the middle. You have to be in the middle of the arc. Then he's like the hoop has to be on the side, and then them, and then you're here doing your thing, and he's shooting over.
He was the middle.
Okay.
And I was in the back like a drummer.
Oh, okay.
But you're like under the hoop, so all the
lands on the computer. Yeah.
Like you're playing with them. Your computer.
It's a dunk contest over me. Damn, that's fire.
That would be good. I wonder how long the show would last before you get a concussion.
Yeah, I'm the obstacle in a dunk contest. That's sick. Listen, if anyone wants to help make this happen,
I could try to shoot some hoops. Yeah, dude, just breaking every single one, bro.
Having someone on stage breaking every shot is
Dude,
good.
You have a batting cage machine that fires baseballs at you, and you're like playing and like having to like hit that'd be sick.
Man. Oh, you know what? That band Smurs, I think that's how you pronounce the name. the Norwegian
Is
duo.
there, like no vowels in it or some shit. I feel like
No, it's SMERZ, but they
yeah, I've seen that.
I love their stuff, but they did the set at a festival. It's two Norwegian chicks, and they did this festival where it was just like buff dudes working out behind them.
That's so sick.
With spotlights. It was fucking amazing. I
That's dope.
feel like I saw a video of it somewhere, and that's how I know about it.
Were they greasy?
Yeah, super greased up and just like doing pull-ups and lifting weights.
That's sick. I hope they had like the tiny old school kind of like workout leotard things. I
It
don't
was
know.
like just like shorts. I think they were like shirtless. It was fucking insane.
That's so fire.
That's
so
sick.
fire.
Okay,
It'd be
we're gonna
fun
have
to
to look
come
that up.
Come out on
Yeah.
stage all greased up, but like just clothed like normal.
Yeah, but just
Like,
greased.
something off about
His clothes are greased. Yeah.
greased.
It's like-
clothes.
I'm gonna play this other song, Henry, you picked. So it's called Reality Smurf, and it's by Blady.
Yes.
And you want to say anything about it?
Reality Surf by Blady. It's from his. I feel like he's even released a newer album since this. He released
Crazy.
music, but yeah, it's from this year. It's like my favorite song off the last album. He's friend rapper from Sad Boys Stockholm
Ooh.
collective, Drain Gang. You know.
They
Young-
definitely they can make a lot of music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I made like 4 songs this year or something. I've been like really slow on output.
Yeah.
But
What? Like, I think I'm like 3 songs in 2
You
years.
think being stuck at home all day would lead you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make music all the time. It's like, no.
no.
Well,
Some people have. Some people have been really good making like 10 beats a day or something. I've been like,
That's torture to me.
yeah, I don't know. I've just
That
been
feels
like,
yeah, that feels like an exercise at a certain point. Where you're just like, I'm gonna make as many beats as possible. It's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not. I feel like at one point I used to function like that, but now it's not. It has to be like I have to be in the right mood, and if I'm not, I'm just not gonna like what I'm doing.
yeah. Well, I think that's also just you develop your taste and everything over time, and you're just and also you grow as someone who makes art, and you're just more aware of what you want exactly, and there's less goes when you're newer at stuff, there's a lot of kind of trial and error, and not that it's not trial and error anymore, but like I know what I want to make, so when I sit down, it's like if I don't have any idea what I want to do, I'm kind of like, I mean, I still love it, not just to play keyboard and shit, but
I feel like there's a lot of exploration and like discovery involved in our music and like electronic music in general, and so it's like we've kind of weathered that
yeah.
discovery. We're like, yeah. So it's like every time I sit down to make music, it's kind of like restarting this kind of trying to discover something process, and it's like it's hard. You can't force that shit.
No, you can't.
Do it's like there's little avenues to force.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's tough times.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reality Surf. Let's listen to this one and we'll talk about it. And this one came out July of 2020.
It's alright, we got food. We got convoluted, yeah, it's real. Put a concept on that feeling. Take a word and change the meaning only you. Take the house open the ceiling. On the white island, reality serve. Reality serve. Reality serve. Reality serve. Venom in the fire. Enemies closer than you. Treat them into pine. Snakes slither in the spine. Take the fruit. Feel the 36 in the car. Everything related back to
We are reading the chat, just so you guys know.
no one to talk. Cinderella word if it sits. Billy test to watch it fall apart. Looking for the arrow when you shoot. You take yourself seriously, you stop. Listen to your heart. Mirror the reflection.
Chat, if you guys got questions, we're reading them. We also think that you think that we don't see it, but we see it.
We see it.
And if you're gonna unfollow, then we're gonna talk to everyone else.
Yeah.
Mama Swipe, I love you too.
I don't know why this song is like reminding me of like a hot chip song.
Really?
Yeah.
Reminds you of
Like,
what?
a hot chip. It's so good.
I see you, Johnny Macaroni.
Johnny.
Yeah, this is the best song.
It's so good.
That's
And
a good song.
I'm burnt on a lot of the kind of like bedroom auto-tune kind of stuff. Not to like put it all in a box.
Me
But-
too.
But Bladey, however you say him,
Yeah,
his shit.
I mean,
fucking
he's a
dude.
special boy, dude.
It really
So-
feels like it's not just like leaning on that as like a means to an end, but more of like, I don't know. It's like the elements come together to make more than the sum of their parts. You know.
One
Well,
thing,
a lot of it feels
Wait,
like
hold
I'm gonna like auto tune over a beat.
Someone says, "Shout me out, bro. I'm a franchise manager of a Jersey Mike's, and I'm a big Blady drainer."
Let's go,
yeah,
Mike.
any Jersey Mike franchise.
Shout you
Shout out
out,
to all of you.
Gangman Smoke. That was pretty
Say
funny.
hello to Jersey Mike himself.
I have a feeling I know who this
Oh,
is.
people just
Yeah.
learned how to say "ground is lava."
Yo, I mean, like that's been a thing throughout my entire career of like realizing that there should have been spaces in my name.
No,
My, like,
someone else actually
18-year-old
earlier today, like
Yeah.
one of our team was like, "Oh, it's ground is lava," because I was saying your name. They're like,
Yeah.
they thought it was Groundislava. Like
My 18-year-old like, oh, this is so clever, this name.
the
thing
ground
is-
is lava. I
it's
think
great
I
'cause
still
it-
think it's clever.
No, it's great. It's great because if you Google it, like my shit comes up immediately. But
Hey man, we named a company. We did it. So
yeah,
uh,
but when I've traveled and shit, I get up on stage and like the person will announce me, and I'll be like, "Bro, what?"
My
Yeah.
name is TOKiMONSTA, and you have no idea how many times people have missaid it.
It's 1 year. Yeah.
TOKiMONSTA is a common one. I'm like,
Mhm.
what? I guess TikTokiMonsta should be my TikTok name though.
ooh,
Do you have a
Yeah.
TikTok?
I don't really use it enough. Actually, no, I'm actually pretty bad at it. I'm like bad
I
at
kind of wanted to
TikTok.
make one.
yeah.
Even though I hate it. I don't know what happened the last few weeks. I've been kind of like,
You gotta
I'm
maybe
not-
you guys
I
would be
gotta-
good at a TikTok. Maybe I'm just like really. You have to be so confident to be good at TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to be down to like do one of the dances too.
See, that's the thing. I can't. I
that.
can't do
I
it.
think that shit is miserable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
So like me and Henry have talked about this a bunch, but like what's weird about it is like I vibed with all the Vine dance shit because like
Mhm.
fools were really hitting it and like it looked tight.
Yeah,
But the TikTok shit, it's more just like
theater.
It's
just
just they're dances that make you look cute. They want you
Yeah.
want
Yeah,
they want
they're
you to
not
look
like-
cute.
then they're not like there's no like, oh, he's really good at it. It's just like, oh, he did
Yeah,
it. He
yeah,
did it.
I love that about it though. It's so
Yeah, it's
funny.
like Patty
He did it. He did it also.
Yeah,
It's really tight.
it's always like a challenge, dude.
Maybe you should just do them with you like have a TikTok with just of your pets, so you're never in it, and you just make your
Yeah.
pets do the dance, and then that's
Yeah.
all it is. Like your pets are all doing the TikTok things, but it's not actually you.
Could transition to like full like dad TikTok and just like
You just have a dog.
man, yeah, it'd be good.
Groundislava, did you ever cameo on Animal Kingdom? What?
Oh. That so.
What is
My friend Jake Weary, who's a frequent collaborator of mine,
Oh, Jake.
he's one of the starring characters on Animal Kingdom. I don't know why. Just when I read that, I immediately thought of Animal Planet, the
The
TV
show?
network, and I was like,
I'm not on.
That's
that.
what I was like.
that would have been sick though.
Have you gone binge fishing for like river monsters? I've been watching so much Animal Planet and like
That shit's dope.
National Geographic.
Good.
It's also like super depressing. You're like, wow, there's like this poor little orangutan and like half its forest is all demolished, and you're just like
Yeah. Always
sitting at
sad.
home all sad.
Baby
But-
elephant shit kills me.
Oh, I know.
Can't
I
hang
can't.
with
I can't
I feel
handle.
like ever since Steve Irwin died, I'm like,
I'm just sad.
I'm traumatized, bro. I grew up
I'm
like
just sad.
watching that shit so much.
I'll never not be sad after Steve Irwin, dude.
One of the wackest people to get killed, dude. Like
Literally one of the
also
it's
like
like,
by a stingray. It was just like I was
like Kobe. It's Kobe and Steve Irwin.
literally gonna make that comparison. It's like
Yeah. No,
They
it's
didn't.
terrible.
They didn't need to go.
No, just like
No,
pure.
like no one, like yeah,
That makes it like, oh yeah, no God. There's no.
yeah.
They took them, dude.
I'm Kobe is still. It's just like I see a picture and I'm like,
Wow. Yeah. No,
like
seriously.
nah, bro, he's not dead, dude. Like,
I know.
I saw like a big rig, but like a detached one, so it didn't have like the big box truck on the back, and it was just completely decked out in all this Kobe and Gianna like vinyl cutouts of them, and like like R.I.P. And then the side door had like his jersey also in like a
Yeah.
vinyl sticker, and I was like, damn, it really hits hard, But congratulations to LA, we won. The Dodgers won and the Lakers won.
insane.
Just needed something.
Just needed something.
I didn't even watch the fucking World Series.
Yeah.
I had forgotten it was on. Like I don't know. It's more the kind of thing where like I usually watch. I'm not really a sports guy. I like watching basketball, but usually when I watch the World Series, it's because I'm like with my friends who love it. But I remember realizing I was talking to someone and they were saying it was on, and then I just started hearing fireworks like crazy, and I was like, "Oh, that is one." Like, didn't have to read anything, just
That's
hear
how
it.
we knew. Yeah.
So
That's
It was
funny.
pretty wild. I couldn't even go home. I was driving,
Oh
and
shit.
I was like, you know what? I think the Dodgers won because I wasn't watching it either.
and you're in Echo Park.
Yeah, I'm like around this zone over here, so I'm like,
fuck.
what the
Yeah,
fuck?
you were
Like, let's we
screwed.
can't go home right now. I'll like do this big loop, try to get home, but
I used to live like in Frogtown,
mhm,
like right behind the stadium,
mhm.
and that shit would be like we'd get so much runoff of traffic from there, and like just like the light from the stadium would like light up.
Didn't they do? I remember they did not FYF. They did Flogna there, right? Or
Yeah,
something,
right.
The last one. I remember just seeing it going off, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I was like, that would have been convenient to like get to maybe. Let's see. So I want to play another song, and this one I don't know how to say. So, Bochum Welt. And the song is 8221
Dude, I told
SB.
myself I was gonna look up how to pronounce that. I've known about him for like
I would believe it's
high
possible.
school, right? I thought it was Bacham-Welt, but like someone that said it to me recently, so different, and I literally yesterday was like, I gotta look that up before we do the stream, how to say it, but I don't know how to say
You may
it.
never know.
They never tell you how to pronounce. Like, people should go on Wikipedia's and like write like a pronunciation of these artist names. You just have to like
the
Google it.
dictionary style, yeah.
I've had to like Google people's like interviews to see how the interviewer says their name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's how they
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely know before.
Bochumwelt, Bochumwelt,
We'll go with any of them.
Something like that. Yeah.
any of them. Okay, it'll be listed. It'll be listed below. And the song came out in 2008, so 12 years old.
This song is the best song ever.
Oh, good.
That
Sounds
weird
super
like
good.
thing on it.
This is like little like automation.
So good. Yeah.
Love a little bendy note.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of the soundtrack. Did you guys ever play Donkey Kong Country on Super
Yeah,
Nintendo?
definitely has not.
Yeah.
100%.
That soundtrack has some massive ambient stuff. I love that soundtrack.
I feel like we listened to that together a lot after.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Cat Cam.
Bug.
Cat cam.
Bug Cam.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude, with the dog bone collar is funny to me.
Touchdown, dude.
Oh wait, I did get that. It's a cat with a dog bone.
Yeah.
Why do dogs get to own the dog bone though? Because not like cats don't eat bone.
Right. That's what I was thinking. The lady at the pet store too was like, "Oh, that's for dogs." I was like, "What do you care, dude?"
Says who?
We have cat lunch.
It's always like they want it to be like a fish or something, and I'm like, my cat doesn't even eat fish.
Honestly,
Who
if
creates
that
these
was one, I
tropes?
probably would-
Yeah.
That might have like
weird.
a fish bone, like a fish skeleton as your.
That's good.
I always want to call it a license plate. I don't know why. I every time I'm gonna say like
Cat's license plate.
name tag.
It's kind of that. What if people had license plates?
Man, I need one. I need that.
I would say something really stupid.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was chill. Man. Who's saying
Someone
anti-cat?
says the anti-cat mafia. Ooh,
Yeah.
them Fighting's words. That was a really chill song.
So dope, right?
Quite enjoy.
Shout out to CV for showing me that song.
Yeah.
I
Shout out.
know about Block and Well a long time, or however you say it, but I guess I don't know. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. Most of the stuff I've listened to before is like different from that too. So, I mean, he has all sorts of film music too, but he's kind of like a parallel to like Aphex and stuff. A lot of, I think he released some Reflex and stuff.
Sick. So it's all. So the music isn't necessarily all super ambient or chill like this. He has some.
No,
Kind of like IDM, kind of, some of it's a little more techy.
It's
Cool.
pretty aligned with like the Aphex, certain Aphex albums where it's like, that to really hectic idea.
Yeah.
On the
It's
same
true.
track.
Yeah, that's always a thing, right? The really beautiful. John Hopkins does that a lot too. Just like
Yeah.
beautiful like choir music, and then just like crazy, like off time like ratchet like stuff like that. Are you guys into gear? Are you guys doing the modular thing or?
I'm definitely a gear guy, but I've never been modular. It's never really been my thing. But
People
I have a lot
get
of cool
obsessed.
gear that I've amassed over the years.
Yeah.
This is probably the best I've had it ever set up in here too.
Yeah. Your setup is nice. You
I
got
know.
everything laid out.
Ooh, you got all the things.
I got my 909 up here, and my SH101. There's my little shitty 303 clone, and then I got my Juno, which I got this in high school for like $250 something.
What?
So insane. So insane.
That's insane.
And it was broken for a long time because honestly, it's a cool synth, but like, especially if it was the only one you had, it's it's not the most versatile synth ever.
Yeah.
So it kind of was sitting in storage for a long time, and I never was really looking Juno prices up because it was like I already own one, and I found out recently they're like $2,000, so I fixed it.
Wait,
And
is
I
it the
bought it
660 is it the
106?
106? Yeah.
And I modded it with these special voice chips, so it's got a little more kind of like
Ooh.
attitude to it. And then I have the Summit, which I actually made some of the presets for this. It's Novation's kind of flagship poly.
Sick.
That was one of my things I'm definitely proud of the last couple of years, was finally getting to work on a synth. But
I need to get a better synth stand. It's such a thing. Like when you have like a 2-layer one and you're like, I need to get a 3-layer one, but I have to pull all my synth stuff. I have like what is it, 400-pound Rhodes, but then I want to like put it on a different stand, but I'm like, I don't know how to lift it.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
weird
like
thing.
Yeah.
I got this brand. It's actually called Jaspers is the brand.
No.
Easy to remember.
But it's a German brand. Here, it even says Jasper on it somewhere. There, look, wait.
That's ridiculous.
You should just start putting your name on all your gear.
I don't even know if you can see that label.
Like the label, I can't see it.
No.
Whatever. But yeah, free plugging the promo for them, but you need a really good synth band. That's
What
the one.
someone in the chat asked what DAW you guys use.
We're Ableton guys.
Ableton lady.
All around. All
You know,
around.
Someone's yet to surprise me with something else that I would use, so that's the one.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me is feels like I'm stuck in Ableton.
Yeah.
like I can't get out.
Well, you know what it does? You know why it's like that? I feel like it's because it does everything. It does everything, but I don't feel like it's kind of like
It's also, this isn't Ableton's fault. This is my fault.
it's very like got its own feel and its own thing, and so it's like once you're committed, you're like really. It's kind of like using a fucking Mac, dude, or some shit. It's like it's very much like this insular sort of vibe, and once you're kind of hooked into that, it's tough to go back to. Like me and Henry both started on Reason, and I got Reason again a few years ago, and I use it kind of more as a VST because some of my like original sounds were all like Reason stuff, and but yeah, making a whole song in Reason now, I'm like, fuck, bro.
How did we do this?
Yeah. I downloaded Reason when I was like 13 or 14, and I was like, nope. And then it gets uninstalled it. I was like, this shit looks hella confusing. I couldn't figure out how anything worked. I pressed a button, it flipped it to the backside where all the wires were, and I was like, I don't want to use this.
Shit that taught me how to use hardware, though, honestly.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah.
But what's funny about Reason is like, when I downloaded it, I bought it again a couple years ago, and I was like, they did update it a lot, but like it's also so dated feeling like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of what I love about it at the same time is it's kind of takes you back to like what it was like making music on a computer. Like, you know, when I first used that, it was probably like 2004 or 2005. So
yeah. Same.
But Reason has its own sound too. A lot.
Definitely.
Like,
whenever someone says they use Reason, I'm always kind of like, that's what's up.
Yeah. Like anytime
Respect.
someone talks about Subtractor or NN19, I'm like,
NN19 gang.
the NN19 is the best.
I feel like it's like the thinking man's Fruity Loops.
100%. 100%. Especially with
does that mean like the non-thinking man uses Fruity Loops?
No, but because I feel like didn't Hudmo use Fruity Loops to do like all that?
Yeah.
and James,
Like,
like, everybody.
A lot of people.
I mean, that is
A lot of trap
definitely
producers
thinking
too.
man's music.
Yeah, like
I would say now it's, you know, I would say one of its strengths is maybe that one of its applications is like it's great. It's just like churning shit out.
Dude, it's fun to program drums on it because you just like light up all the things like nonsensically, and then you have like a crazy looping drum beat that somehow makes sense.
It clips, it redlines perfectly. Like it's the only program where you can just slam something into oblivion and it just sounds good still. That's the one thing with Ableton. You can't really slam shit into a compressor just like without thinking about it. And I feel like everyone just does that in FL and it just sounds amazing.
Yeah. It's like a sound. It's like it's sound.
Totally. That's like what's good about it. It's funny.
Yeah. So that was my thing. My first thought was the non-thinking man's one, which is the Fruity Loops, which I like. I still like it. I just like don't use it now. I don't know. I haven't tried using it on Macs because they have it on Mac right now.
Yeah, it started a few years ago, I think.
The first time like recently where I've used Fruity Loops was like I like worked on some shit with DJ Mustard a few years ago. Not for my own stuff, but he wasn't using that, but like one of the guys who he works with was a Fruity Loops guy, and I was having him like start this thing we were on, and it was right when everyone was doing the kind of like bendy sub sound a lot.
Yeah.
Like around like when Mask Off came out, and
yeah.
I was trying to put something together and like, oh no, let me try it. And then he just was doing kick and that in Fruity Loops, and it was just like, holy fuck, like it just like you were saying, like the way that shit red lines, it's like I get it. Like it's really,
That's the whole sound. It's crazy. Just has
and then just drawing in the 808 sub kind of shit like on there, it's like so fluid.
It turned how kids produce into more of like video game style, like beating the game.
Totally. And the nature of it being like a step sequencer grid kind of thing, like
like making a beat.
I love in music, but it's also like what's so trippy about that is like, say you wanted to do like, oh, I want to do a this style beat. You can look up like a chart that's just like, oh, literally like on the hi-hat, put it on the 1, on
Yeah,
15, and then it's like, they're like, it can be very templated, but I guess, yeah.
It's a vibe for everyone. I guess if you want to do more in-depth sequencing, Ableton is so much better for that. Like just the amount of automation that you can use. There's also Bitwig. Bitwig is like, I guess like a few people like jump ship from Ableton and started their own shit. That one, I think you can automate anything on that. So like anything, you can sidechain anything to anything in that one.
I don't even know
There's random shit in Ableton where I'm like, why can't I automate this, dude? Like,
yeah,
I can automate fucking the most ridiculously, obscure parameter, but then I can't automate, like certain things within the way you warp stuff.
Yeah.
Where you can't automate. I don't know.
Yeah. They don't what they don't let you do is pan individual MIDI notes, which is such a weird thing. You have to like do it across the entire clip.
Yeah.
You can't just do it per note. So if I want to just have like a C note pan left, if I do it, then it's gonna have to bend all the notes versus like if anyway. Anyways, that's one of the things, but we can like probably email someone and be like, fix it.
That's what's cool about these companies is that they do listen sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
If enough people say it and you like really like, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Like before we go, I want to play this last song called Old Gods by Salem. And I wanted to ask you a last, I guess not the ending question, but a question. So you helped Salem release Fires in Heaven, which was their first album in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm wondering like how that project came together.
Very naturally and cool and like in a good surprising way. Like Salem has just been a huge influence for me, and like I've just been a fan forever, like and also one of those things that you kind of just assume you're never going to realize in real life or something. Like it's something that you're never going to get to touch or something. It's very mythical. And then I guess just a few years ago, like me and Jack just started talking. He's like one of 2 dudes in Salem. And they were starting to put together the album, and it was just music that they had made over the past like 7 years. This is like in 2017, 2018. And they needed help like just kind of realizing it and putting it together, because they had all the music written pretty much, but it was like unmixed, and a lot of the songs were unfinished or kind of halfway produced. And so they just wanted like some friend helping hand that understands the aesthetic of the sound. Because the thing is, with a lot of engineers, it was like we would take it to people, and people inherently want to clean stuff up, like especially just the audio files. Like you get it and you're like, this is good, but I could make it better by cleaning it up. With their whole thing, it's like, if you clean anything up, it's like lost everything. Like it's just not, so it was, it clicked because it's like, that's what I try and do with my own music. So
totally.
We just started working on finishing their songs, and it was just like, what's good and what's good enough for the album. And I was like, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, it ended up being like one of my favorite things I've worked on.
That's so amazing. It's really
came out so good, dude.
Thanks,
man. It's always cool to be able to lend your hand to help someone else create art, So
totally.
It's a cool muscle to flex too, because you're not really working on music for you. You have to put your mind in what is best for them, and I think that's super. It's fun. It's cool, and it gives you a way to like participate in a world that maybe you wouldn't on your own.
Totally,
you learn a lot doing that too, because it's also very different from starting a project from the beginning with someone. Coming in halfway, I feel like it kind of teaches you to be aware of your intuition and what you would want to add, but also understand how to dial that back and to appreciate the vision that exists.
This is interesting because I'm such a fan to begin with of their music that I would act as kind of like a center point for like some of it because they'd be confused with like their own, you know, vision of like, where do we want to take this song? Like, do we want it to exist as this thing that we haven't done before? And I was like, no.
Like you got old shit, bro.
Don't change. You know what's funny about that concept too is like, do you guys ever have like listeners or fans that are like, man, I really liked whatever this particular album, like why the fuck did you change it for the next one? And then you realize that you're that asshole that does, because I do that too. I'm like, oh, this album was okay, but then I really liked what they were doing before.
No, I
know?
do.
That's like everyone.
We all do that. So
that's
funny.
like half my fans are just like, why don't you make more shit like your? Because my first record was like, you know, we were like 18 or some shit when we were. You remember that shit? Like when we were first at Low End Theory and stuff, and like I was just so stoked on the Low End Theory shit. I was just going full on like beats and 8-bit and all this shit. And for me, I like felt like I grew out of that after that. But then for a lot of people I talked to, they're like, dude, like why? Like why don't you make more? Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I feel like every artist goes through that too.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like you were saying, like I get mad at artists for doing that thing.
Yeah.
You get to so much.
The funny thing with me is that people will be like, why don't you make more stuff like the first album? And I'm like, it's all the same. It is like the first album.
Which first album though, bro?
I'm making the exact same fucking music.
Which first album though?
Bad Vibes. Like people are like, yo, what, you should make a Bad Vibes part 2. I'm like, I did, and then I made a part 3, and then I made a part 4.
I would say those are similar, but I think your sound on was Shlohmo, was that a LP or EP?
EP, like extendo EP.
But
yeah,
and Slow-Fi are very different. Also very different from the Bad Vibes shit.
Totally.
But very much, yeah, I would say like Bad Vibes on, you're fucking consistent, bro.
Yeah. It's this funny thing. Like some people, you know, like how, you know, we are with it. Like when we recognize it in ourselves that we're just like, oh, I wish they would do a part 2 to this.
Yeah, dude.
I get a lot of that. Like, you should do a part 2. And I feel like if I called something, anything, this part 2, it'd be like, dope, dude. Part 2.
Yeah. It's all branding, right?
Yeah,
At that point, it's just like, if that's what you want, it'll be part 1, 2, and 3. And if I named it something different, maybe you would have hated it. But
yeah, like I put out in 2018. I put out Groundislava 2, which was like it's literally B-sides of my first record. So I made in like 2009 through 2010, 11.
Yeah,
and the art looks like the first. You know, I very much thought that it would kind of explain itself as being. You know, I told people it was B-sides, but I didn't. I didn't realize people, they don't hear that first shit of mine and think like, oh, that was stuff he made when he didn't know what he was doing. They just hear that as like music. So when I put it out, like, everyone just thinks it's new music, and I'm like, no, this is like, because for me, I listen to it, I'm kind of like, it's a little, like I've grown past that. But it's funny to hear it. People, no one realized it was old B-sides. Like, but it's fine. But,
people pick up random bits of information about all this stuff, you know. They're just like, I saw an Instagram post here and maybe like a Twitter headline. Like, I had an album come out in March, and then I had posted up, I just posted something recently being like, okay, I want to put out an instrumental version of that album. And people misread it going, oh, you should put your instrumental album out now, and then when you have a chance, you could put out the album with vocals. And I was like, but it's already out. It's already out though.
I hate that shit.
I was just like, damn. But also it's cool because then like if the people who didn't catch it when it got released, because it got released in March, which is like peak COVID stay at home time, everyone's all stressing on toilet paper, so it's okay. So now they can like find out later. But man, releasing music right now is a weird
it's also
thing.
kind of the nature of people's attention spans right now. Like things move so fast, and people are like, I'm sure there was someone who asked you that, who you said that, and they're like, oh wait, you did. Like they're just people are so like.
The other thing too is like Instagram algorithm shit. It's like you can have like half your followers just not know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Just like post about it as much as you want. Like it's not gonna matter.
It's fun.
If it just chooses to not show it to them for like that day, they're not gonna see it. Like
Not gonna see nothing.
so crazy.
Like, so before, I know we're going a little long. I want to play the song before
Oh,
we
yeah,
say
Salem.
goodbye. So Old
Salem.
Gods by Salem. And so you helped work on this track.
Yeah, so the record is out now. It just came out last week. I ended up helping them do the whole album. Yeah, it was just like a bunch of weeks spent at having them in town over at my home studio. Well, Jack lives in LA now, but John's been in Michigan still. So
Very sick.
we made this over the last 2 years, and this is a song called Old Gods, which is one of my favorites on the record.
All right.
Give me one more chance to set you free. If I walk away, I'm going to wash you away. Give me just one night to believe.
Big statement.
There's a little part coming up. When you stop back in, I'll explain it afterwards. It's a little story behind it.
All right, you gotta tell us. The comments are going off right now about naming a dog.
So good, bro.
So good.
Great song. Fuck.
That record turned out so good too because it's like there are moments on it that are so you, but
Yeah.
then it's also so Salem, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and not only is it so Salem, but there's some moments that are like straight out of their old shit, which I love, and I love that it's not just one. It's like
Yeah.
like all
I
those
was
things.
gonna say that about like working, like compromising with like working with other people. This was none of that. This is like the most surprising, collaborative project I've ever had the pleasure of working with, because it was just literally like we think the same way about music. So it was like when decisions were being made, it was like yes, it
Yeah.
wasn't like
Right.
I don't know if we should do that. It was like let's do this.
Yeah.
It's like really easy, but yeah.
It's nice. It's always really nice to collaborate with people where it's not too much push and pull. It's like everyone's like, this sounds like a good idea. Well, I think it sounds like a good idea too, and in cases where you respect the other person's perspective too. Because, at least as a solo artist for me, sometimes not to say I wish I was in a band, but I do have a little bit of envy for people that do have like other creative partners where
Totally.
they can be like, well, between this and this, which one do you think is better versus it
Yeah.
all being up to you and the burden of everything that comes with that as well, you know?
Totally.
So it's cool to be able to like work with people and be like, yeah, that's fire. And the other person's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fire, you know?
Also, working with people who have. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I used to want to make all the decisions. I was like, no, I have so many ideas. I need to make these decisions. But at this point in my like musical life, I'm really enjoying the collaborative thing. Just the idea of being in a room because I'll tap out after a certain while. I'm like, I have no more ideas right now. And then the other person can tap in and be like, well, how about this?
That's what I say. Like, I like collaborating with people who come in with their own vision, because I'm much more happy to work where I can tap out and they're like, hell yeah, I get to do my thing. Versus like, I find it really tough to work with people who are just like sit there and wait for you to come up with something until they like it. You know, like that can be tough because I'm second guessing myself already. I mean, I'm kind of an anxious guy, so I got someone in the room, and then on top of that, they're waiting for me to like figure out the missing key to what they want. You know, so
Yeah.
especially with someone like Salem, who's like, you know, they're like, were so important for us too, just as listeners.
Yeah.
To come in and be able to kind of like back and forth with their vision is dope.
Totally.
Someone in the chat asked, is Shlohmo Dua Lipa ever coming out? Is that a real thing?
It's fire. I heard it, dude. It's fire.
Who? I haven't even heard it again.
No, is it actually a thing?
Is that a thing?
Well, okay, it's a really funny
I
story.
I feel like you mentioned something about it.
I definitely told you about this. This is there was a moment when it was so dumb. It was like this week where my album was about to come out. This is like 2019. Album was about to come out. Me and Salem were locked in studio for like 2 straight weeks while John was in town. While my album was coming out, I had like a release show in New York that I was like, oh God, like I was focusing less on my own record than I was like everything else behind the scenes shit. So I was like doing Salem. And then meanwhile that week, like I was starting to send my record around to people, and I got a call from a friend who, this is so random, who works with Kanye. And he was like, hey dude, like, Kanye wants to talk to you. And I was like,
Oh, right. I remember this now.
it's like, what? And it's like, he's gonna call you in a little bit. And I was like, no, he's not. And then I got a call, and it was the Chicago number, and I was like, I'm gonna pick this up. And he's like, hey dude, it's Ye. Like, what's up? Just want to talk a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What's up, bro?
I was like, hey man, like what's going on? And he's just like, man, the radio these days, you know what I'm saying, just starts fucking talking for like a minute. And I was just he's like, bro, I need your chords. I need your chords. I need the synths. I need your chords. I was like, I don't know what that means, but for sure. And then he was like, come to the Sunday service rehearsal space, whatever the fuck. And so I went to this rehearsal space and I met up with him, but he was like, they were in the middle of like choir practice and he was directing it. And so I'm just standing. I was like, and he's like, I'll get you one, like kind of like 1 second. And then it was like an hour of choir practice. And I'm just like, and there are all these people that were there that like knew me from before and were like, what the fuck are you doing? And it was one of those awkward situations where no one's talking because it's like in the midst of this like rehearsal. And so everyone's kind of looking at each other like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? Who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? And then Dua Lipa came, and I was like, is that fucking Dua? You know when you see someone in person for the first time, you're like, is that fucking Dua Lipa? Like, I can't tell, you know? Then he was like, how about he's like, Henry and Dua, come here. And this, I was like, okay, it is. And he like led us into this other room, and there was like an engineer waiting, like ready to go with like a beat loaded up. And there was the AR, the fucking Ensonic, and whatever, what's that thing called? God damn it.
ASR.
ASR 10, yeah. And he had a drive of all of these samples loaded up, and he ended up playing the. I didn't even end up listening to that fucking album, but On God, the On Jesus King. It was like the arpeggiated one.
Yeah.
That, but it was that, and then I think we were just like writing to it, and he just left us in a room for a while. Like,
Okay.
Give me your chords, bro.
well, and so she thought I was important or something because I was there, and she didn't know who the fuck I was because I was like, yeah, you should make it sound like this or something. And so I just ended up like writing like a chorus with Dua, and then that was it, and that song never came out, and it never will.
Did you and Ye talk at all anymore that day?
Wait, what was that?
Did you and Ye talk at all anymore that day, or was that
was it for that? Well, no. We talked for a second after that, but then a really funny thing happened with Jack and John, with Salem dudes, because they know Kanye from Yeezus.
Yeah.
Because Jack actually did some work for them for the album.
So many people worked on that one, man.
Yeah, so many people worked on that one. But so Ye wanted us to. I was like, oh, I'm with Jack, and he was like, oh, you guys should all come to the rehearsal space today. And I was like, for sure, let's go. And what was I gonna say? Sorry, I was reading.
I know.
The chat got me for a sec.
I know. So we went to the same rehearsal space. I went with Jack and John, and no one was there. And I was like, huh. And I like texted him. I was like, where are you guys today? He's like, oh, we're not at the rehearsal space. We're in Calabasas today. And I was just joking with Jack and John. I was like, we're not going over there today. Like we're not making it over to Calabasas today. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. But then just joking with them, if I had been lying the whole time, they hadn't seen him themselves yet. They're like, oh, it's weird. No one's here. Let me call him. Like, stupid as shit. But yeah, probably stories I shouldn't talk. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. No one's gonna like whatever. Who knows?
Also,
maybe
like,
doesn't listen.
I don't care.
Like 4 people.
So many people come in throughout the day, probably daily. Like, you know, like,
yeah,
that's like
They
whenever
do.
I hear about him, it's always like, oh, it's there, and like, you know,
he calls
like,
in people for
random fucking people are there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think every one has like a Kanye story. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have a Kanye story too, where
Bet.
he was like, oh, shit, what was it? I DJ'd a thing for Louis Vuitton, and then he was in the back corner with like a hoodie on of this like event. It was at the Parker, and it's like Grimes was DJing, and then I DJ'd, and basically someone kept on trying to make her play Truffle Butter. Remember when that song was a thing?
Yeah.
And it was like the son of forgot whoever was the head of LV at that time. And she's like, I don't want to fucking play that song. But they're like, dude, you got to play that song. And so I forgot how she managed it. But then when I was there, he wanted me to play. Kanye was in the back being like telling someone to tell me that I have to play not Blood on the Leaves, but like something like one of the like.
such a weird song to play it.
Yeah, maybe like whatever the song was at the time. Maybe when he like came out with all the stuff with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have it. I'm on Ableton. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, no, you have to play it. And I could see him in the back corner in the dark with a hoodie on looking at me. I was like, fuck, I gotta play it.
Yeah.
So I tethered my laptop to my phone and I played it off Spotify.
Genius.
And then I started my set afterwards.
You had to make sure he got his third of a cent off that, you know.
He had to. But I think the song was like brand new and it was super hot, and he wanted to make sure I was playing it. None of us are playing it, so I played it. And then later on that evening, there was like a listening section and like a session in like a tiny bungalow that they have there, and it was like 10 of us in pitch dark, and Kanye was just listening to beats because at that time he was really into like the Brodinski kind of stuff. Do you remember? He had like a moment.
Yeah.
And so we're just like in there listening to like dark Brodinski kind of beats, and then he was just like real quiet. It was really that's my Kanye story. He also said that he's like, did you make this? Because I got a hold of the aux, and I was like, yes, I did. He's like, it's good, and then he walked away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's my like this moment. But I want to say thank you to the both of you. We've just been like talking about shit all day, and I hope you guys enjoyed your avocado toast and your Hawaiian food and the rest of your evening.
That's awesome.
To everyone who tuned in today, thank you so much for listening to us. Well, I don't know. I thought it was I had fun with it today.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a lot of fun.
It was nice to talk to you guys.
Definitely.
Too long.
So thank you, chat. Thank you, Groundislava, Shlohmo. Thank you. I got food from Gra, again, out in Echo Park. Very delicious. And next week I have, Rio Cragen and Chrome Sparks. So,
Yay.
So,
kicking it again. Till then, bye, you guys.
later, y'all.
Peace. Bye, chat. Love y'all.
See ya.